Welcome back to another Tera Plays Tera video. Alright, so in today's video, we are going to be going over Tera Menma's 2.0 patch notes. For those that don't know, Menma's in the last few hours got a amazing, humongous update. So these are going to be, well, I guess this is going to be a quite lengthy video. I'm going to do my best to try and segment it with chapters. And obviously, if you want to read anything directly, feel free to pause the video or I'll have these patch notes linked. Now, they're not from their website. They're from Hale's Google Doc. So bear with me as we go through them. Again, if you guys want to read them directly, they will be linked. And as soon as they get posted to the website, if they post them to the website, I'll link that one because it usually looks cleaner than a Google document. And I know some people might not be able to access documents. It's weird. It's a funny thing at times. But yeah, so let's get into all the changes that Tera Menma's got. So to start off with, we have PvE Bloodshard Gear. This is brand new gear that the developers have added. It is a set above the Kaya's Fury and Wisdom gear. You must have plus 15 Kaya's to upgrade into Bloodshard, and you must have the maximum rolled weapon to upgrade. What this means is when you open your Annihilation boxes, I noticed while like a day or two doing my Archer, a bunch of them I got were 4 rolls, so it's pretty easy to get 4 rolls. But if for those that were playing a while back, you might have a weapon that has 2 or 1 roll. Tanks and DPS, you will need to have all 4 rolls to be able to upgrade. Healers, your weapons are locked at 3 rolls. So if you have a weapon that's 2 rolls, you physically cannot get it to Bloodshard. This new gear is referred to as the Bloodshard Gear, and it has a few unique basic attributes. That being, you can equip Bloodshard crystals. They're referred to as Bloodshards, and it's based on the gear's grade or the crystal's grade. We will go over the crystals in a little bit. The weapon will have double cooldown and double enrage roll. I'm guessing this is not a picked roll, or maybe it is picked. More into that when we actually get the gear, but it sounds like it's gonna have both double enraged and cooldown, which is really nice. You'll be able to upgrade the gear, will increase its grade. So there are 4 grades. You're going to be able to get Dormant, Gleaming, Represent, and Perfect. Classes can only equip the correct gear for them. So, example, a gunner will no longer be able to equip physical metal gear. So that's all that. You'll be able to craft these recipes and the stuff to do it. So, you'll need to make sure your armory is proficient. So use the craft materials to upgrade your Bloodshard gear or convert the update materials. Recipes are available from dungeons, or you could purchase them from other players on the trade broker or so forth. So when the dungeons are released, you can actually see which dungeons will drop what recipes. There's a new icon for mastering, and that craft at 1200 proficiency. So now we're going to get into the PvP Bloodshard crystals. Completing dungeons and engaging in other forms of content may award you with these new crystals. The Bloodshards. Players can upgrade the Bloodshards by using materials dropped from specific dungeons as fusing items. Fusion is done through the crystal fusion option in the player's inventory. So the weapon, Bloodshards, you can look at these all below. These must be equipped to Dormant grade or higher Bloodshard weapons. If you know what they do, to know what to do, they are not telling us in these patch notes. You have to physically get these crystals yourself, or wait for someone like myself or other players on stream to get them and make a list. Now I'm gonna go off on a limb and say, from my experience of console and Tera's old crystal system, pounding is probably going to be more damage. Furious is, I believe, more damage to enraged. Bitter is more crit power to enraged. Wrathful, I believe, is like front damage. But as far as like percentages, we're not sure. Again, they could have changed it. You know, carving's more crit. Again, don't take my words exactly, because again, there's no reason that the devs couldn't decide to change it completely and just kept some of the same names. But yeah, so this is a really cool system. I really like the idea of crystals, and there's some crystal names in here that I am a little unfamiliar with, whether if they're just a really old crystal that I've not seen, or maybe it's something new that they've made, because I know there was talk about them making new crystals. So we'll have to wait till people start getting these to get exact details. And it's the same thing with the armor going into the chest plate. You'll have to unlock the armor crystals to know what they do, and obviously you need blood shard armor to put these crystals in. For the Titanic Verse, again, we have an upgraded version of the crystals. These are just like your keen, powerful, and swift. They've introduced them as a slow gameplay down, allowing players to trade some of their attack speed for raw damage if they prefer. They are not designed to be better or stronger. It's just instead they have been designed to give players more freedom to adjust and tune the gameplay to their preference. You know, and these must be equipped to level 65 earrings or rings. So our jewelry from this patch isn't getting changed past a Gaia from what it seems, but we are getting new jewelry crystals. So kind of cool. Again, the devs are really insinuating on attaining them in the game to find out the exact numbers, but it's pretty obviously we can assume keen is crit, powerful is, you know, power, and swift is going to be movement speed or attack speed. So PvP dungeons. Alright, dungeons that are getting open this patch. I'm assuming AA normal, Darkreach Citadel, Darkreach Citadel hard, Red Refuge hard, Shadow Sanctuary normal and hard, Timescape, Velix hold hard as a 5-person instead of the usual 7, Velix Sanctuary hard. Do know the devs really want to make it note that this is not available at launch. They are still reworking some of the mechanics, as they are planning to recreate Velix Sanctuary hard in their own format. So it's not going to be the same mechs that you've known from retail, from console, from wherever you've been playing that you've had Velix Sanctuary. They are reworking this and changing the mechs, which I think is really cool that they're starting to dive more into. And then Dreadspire is also getting released. I believe they've had to make some changes for Dreadspire, and we'll get into that. Dungeons that have been closed is Akalest Quarantine, Broken Prison, Corrupted Skynest, Democron's Factory Hard, Dracon's Arena Normal and Hard Mode, Dragon's Nest, Forbidden Arena, all 3 of them, Arcanine, Rampaging Arcanine, Ruinous Manor Hard, Skycruiser Endeavor Hard, and Sea of Honor have all been closed. So any dungeons that you remember, like AAHM, Manias Core Hard, or Plexus Hard from last patch that hasn't been set in closed or open dungeons is going to be opened. There's no reason for them to take AAHM out. It was just added, and so these are what's gone. That's what's been added, and anything that wasn't said in either statement is most likely still in the game. Dreadspire. So they do have a big patch here about Dreadspire, as there's quite a bit to go over. Dreadspire has returned. You can access it through the Dimension Gate in Baldera. If you haven't realized, Baldera is now also open. It's the classic entrance in Tempest Reach. Oh, that's an additional or the classic entrance in Tempest Reach. I apologize. The bosses in Dreadspire will drop unique pets, their shades. The dungeon no longer fully resets when you fail to a boss. So on old school, the very cruel version of Dreadspire was if you made it to floor 5 and your team wiped, you'd have to go back in and start at floor 1. They got rid of this. They wanted people to be able to keep making progress. So if you make it to Chalcaic and you keep dying, it's okay. You can. This is similar to something console has, that when we fail on whatever floor, we go back into that floor unless you reset or, you know, give up, break group, make a new group. They've implemented their own custom music into Dreadspire, so keep a listen out for that. And you can also get a destructive Manaya mount by trading the Chandra Manaya quills that you can only obtain from floor 10. The mount is only available, and it's this version that's available from Dreadspire, which I really like this mount. This was one of my favorite when console got it, so I'm super excited to see her being added. Leaderboards have had quite a bit of change. Obviously, they've updated the leaderboards for the new dungeon rotation. The ranking on the leaderboards will give unique pet boxes as always. The statues related to the leaderboards will no longer appear in Highwatch. Dreadspire's top ranking group will now appear in the central bridge in Baldera. The statues now display more character effects, such as height changers, breast and thigh changers, and costume set effects will now all be on statues. The current leaderboard dungeons are as follow: Dreadspire, Velik Sanctuary Hard, Anthros Abyss Hard, Shadow Sanctuary Hard, The Plexus Hard, and Dark Reach Citadel Hard are all on the current leaderboard. The title for the ranking in the leaderboards have been updated as follow. For Velik Sanctuary Hard, first place gets greedier than the Arvicus. I apologize if I'm reading it wrong. Second and third gets Pursuer of Greed. Shadow Sanctuary Hard, first place gets Bloodshard Master. Second and third gets Bloodshard Apprentice. Dark Reach Citadel, first gets Exorcist. Second and third gets the Subjugated the Demon. Subjugated the Demon. I apologize, I'm butchering it. Those who achieve the top rank for the newly closed dungeons will keep their titles until the next patch. Gillyglade is also getting a update, and that is that Banyanka's treasure will be relevant to this current patch. Old boxes remain unchanged, so you can just sell them to the merchant. They're not going to have any of the new stuff. And the loot for the chest has been updated. So if you do any of the new, like if you open up a new one, you'll get more related items, which I'm really happy that they did this, because sometimes people tend to forget about old content and update it. So very happy that they've updated Gillyglade. Training Grounds, the reset stone no longer resets the summon group skill for Mystic or Priest. So if you're a healer and you were going into Training Ground to reset the summon, you can't do that anymore. It is what it is. Quite a few miscellaneous changes. They've reduced the entry limit to 40. If you have the club, it will go up to 80 for all dungeons. They've added a dungeon entry expansion scroll to the ticket shop. These will reset your entries for the dungeon. So basically, if you don't have club and you run a dungeon 40 times, you can, reset it. I don't know anyone who really runs the same dungeon that amount of times, especially 80, but hey, if you got the motivation and you got these resets, that's cool. I'm actually glad they're adding stuff like that. It's good to see. The Neophyte Resurrection for newbie res has been changed as well. So if your item level is 452, you'll get 9. If your item level is 476, you'll get 6. Item level 492 gets 3. If your item level is 501 and higher dungeons, You just don't get it. And I agree with all that. That's cool. They lowered the cooldown of level 1 to 65 dungeons by half. So level 20 to 59 dungeons is 5 minutes without club, 2 minutes with club. Level 60 dungeons is 10 minutes without, no, with, I think that's 10 minutes meant to be without club. That seems right. They just dropped the without. 5 minutes with club. Dungeon entrances and Vanguard quests now reset on Tuesdays rather than Thursday and Wednesday respectively. And they've improved the stability of Dreadspire and Training Ground. So this is really nice that they're doing this. Most people, when you start Menmas, you can just skip the level 70, but I gotta give anyone credit who hasn't ever played Tera in general that wants to understand leveling and understand the beginning of the game. This is really a nice quality of life change that a lot of new players, it's frustrating if you have to wait that long and if you're clearing it faster than that. So, or wait longer if I don't know what it originally was. So I'm happy they're thinking about everyone. That's just something in general that I'm going to say, that it's really nice that they're not only thinking about endgame, but they're also thinking about quality life for new players, which I respect. Vanguard requests. They've adjusted the rewards accordingly. No longer provides item level based boxes, now giving either a Vanguard reward box or a superior Vanguard reward box. PvE Rally, they've added a Fiery Foe. This is a new guild rally BAM, and it's going to be terrorizing the Baldera district. This new rally drops materials for the new Bloodshark crystals and gear, and the BAM has a guild rally quest associated with it as well. That BAM is going to be called Ember Maw. Be careful, this familiar face has some new tricks up its sleeves, so watch out. It will spawn on Thursdays between 18 and 20 o'clock, so math, I apologize. That's 18-2000 for anyone. And that's server time, by the way. And its exact spawn location is random in Baldera. So for PvP, there's been quite a few changes. We'll get into that now. PvP Dawn and Dust Jewelry. You can obtain Dawn and Dust Jewelry through crafting in the new Armory section. Complete various content offering to gather jewelry materials. Exchange new battleground reputation with their new merchants, Zoling, Killian, and Elion, located in the Velika Outskirts Hall. Civil Unrest BAMs, Civil Unrest ranking rewards, and Tuesday and Friday from PvP Guild rallies. So for PvP Civil Unrest, a new storm. This is changes to Civil Unrest. It has been moved to the Colosseum ruins. Colossal ruins. Riding skill Topthorn has been changed to riding skill Sandy Elephant. The mount has the same speed at 330. If you already own the Topthorn, you don't need to purchase a new mount. Participant limit has been increased from 25 to 30 players. They've increased the resurrection time from 10 to 20 seconds. The clemency has been reduced from 8 to 5 seconds. And the clemency is the invincibility effect after resurrecting. Summon group cooldown has increased and has been reduced. The summon group's cooldown has been reduced from 6 to 4 times. And they've added a new Civil Unrest reward box. They have adjusted the old box tooltips to correctly state what they provide, but we won't update the old boxes with the new rewards. So very similar to Gilliglade boxes, if you have old ones, you get old rewards. You won't start receiving new rewards until you acquire new boxes. They've adjusted the points gained from action in Civil Unrest. The last tower standing has been moved from 2,500 to 2,000 points. Destroying the enemy tower was 1000, now 700. Tower placement is 0 to 500 points. Tower alive, 0 to 20 points per minute. Kill an enemy, 20 points. Death, 1 to 2 points. Remaining HP, 0 points. Increased guild XP for attending and ranking in civil unrest. First, used to get 340, is now 800. Second, 145 to 650. Third, 97 to 400. Fourth and fifth, 82 to 200. Sixth or 10th, 75 to 100. The background music has been re-enabled. Alright, let's get into the battle mark system. You can gain battle marks through civil unrest BAMs to obtain benefit during civil unrest. You can find the NPC to exchange the battle marks in civil unrest area. The NPC sells the following items. You can get Summon Endurance Flag, increase you and your allies' endurance by 30% within 15 meters, lasts for 2 minutes. You can get Summon Power Flag, increases you and your allies' power by 30% within 15 meters, lasts 2 minutes. Tower Teleport Scroll teleports you to your guild's tower instantly. Civil Unrest Rewards for Rank 1. Regal Guild Supplies, 5 million Bellichrome, Riding Skill Tainer, 15,000 tickets, a Dusk Box 3 times, a Dawn Box 3 times, and Regal Material Box. This contains PvE focused material. I really appreciate this. This is good. This is a way to force your PvEers to play PvP. Nice. Good change. Rank 2. The Principal Guild Supplies. 5 million Bellichrome, 6,500 tickets, 2 Dusk and Dawn boxes, and a Principal Material box. Again, box contains PvE focused materials. Rank 3, again, is 5 million Bellichrome, 4,500 tickets, only one of each Dusk and Dawn box, and a binaural material box. Rank 4, same Bellichromes, 3,000 tickets, a ducal material box, which is, again, PvE. Rank 5 gets the 5 million Bellichrome, 3,000 tickets, and Earl material box. I'm going to assume the lower boxes give less rewards. PvP Battleground changes. They've opened the Battlegrounds to you hear the call of war from the following Battlegrounds. Gridiron 15 vs 15 has been opened. They've closed the Kaya's Endless Fight. Gridiron 15 vs 15 has changed to a 15 vs 15 format. It will require 3 healers, requires between 2 to 4 tanks, and uses the same equalized gear as Shorehold. Fortifying statues now heal 100,000 HP. For leaderboards, Gridiron is the new leaderboard, including new titles. First place gets Last One Standing, second and third gets Serial Killer. They've reworked the Murderous Intent, no longer provides attack speed, crit factor, power, or movement speed. This changes allow us to remove the PvE debuff, which means you can use Murderous Intent during civil unrest without decreasing your guild's tower damage. For Murderous Intent 2, you get +2 PvP attack and PvP defense. T2 gives 3. Tier 3 gives 4. Tier 4 gives 5. The PvP Rally Double Trouble. They've added 2 new guild rally BAMs that are terrorizing the Velica outskirts. These new rallies drop materials for the new Dawn and Dusk jewelry. Both these BAMs have a guild rally quest that will be associated with them. Nightmare Tanibus spawns Tuesdays between 18:20 server time in Velica outskirt, and the Enraged Kuma spawns on Fridays between 17 and 20 server time in Velica outskirts. They've made some PvP systematic changes. New reputation. Each battleground has a new reputation credit. Crosshair Stronghold gives Killing Spree, Shorehold will give Dusk, and Gridiron gives Dawn. You can exchange these credits through the new merchant in the Velica Outskirts Hall. The Triumph Trophy, obtained by achieving rank 1 overall in Crosshair Stronghold, Gridiron, or Shorehold, and it can be exchanged for cosmetics and rare items. Duels and Deathmatch increase the max time of duels to 5 minutes, and they've increased the max time of death matches to 10 minutes. Now, we've talked about Baldera quite a bit. You guys have already been known from the beginning of this patch notes that Baldera has been added. Well, here we're going to go over everything they've actually done with it. And that is that Baldera has a new custom story quest. The people once protected from the savagery of Aurora are now faced with a harsh reality. Just one question lingers on everyone's minds. What power was strong enough to cause a decades-old barrier to fall? Baldera is an endgame level 70 zone with monsters ranging from level 71 to 74. You can find the following BAMs in Baldera. They're all listed. Feel free to read through them. You can also find a variety of normal monsters and world bosses. All of Baldera is safe from GVG and PvP. To reach Baldera, you can take a Pegasus from Elementia, Castanica, Crescentia, or Velica once you reach level 70. Balderion has also been made available in the travel journal, and you can speak with Mir, Mirror, in Highwatch to teleport directly to Baldera. You can find Baldera and the Baldera's achievements in the Southern Auron Exploration section, and these are all the achievements, and they go over, the new Gather Bowl. Oh, it also has a new Gather Bowl which rewards a mysterious item. Try using it to fish somewhere. We have put in an unused music track to use in Baldera. Give it a listen. So, this is the map of Baldera. They've added some music to it, and they've added, it seems like a fishing bait. The new main city of Baldera. Redirect the Vanguard, redeem teleport to Baldera. You can go back to Highwatch by speaking to the North Auron Explorer within the city. Baldera features every NPC you need, including a Ministry of Normal City experience. You can also find new NPCs in the area, such as Dungeon Gates and Special Valkyrie Mission Board. Both of these will prove vital for your experience in the future. Merchants in Baldera also sell unique items, such as the Baldera's Teleport Scroll, Civil Unrest tab items, potions, riding skill, veteran HP, MP, and painkiller. You can also access Civil Unrest from Baldera, as well as the Bellicrom vendor, a guild shop, the guild treasure, and Elion. And here is a nice image of Baldera, the actual city of Baldera. Bellicrom and Bellicrom boards. Alright, this is kind of important, especially for PvE players, because there is a lot of good content for this new patch to cover inside this section. And that's the fact that this is an extremely important new addition that will provide materials for completing dungeons. So this is, I think, the main way of how you're going to upgrade to Bloodshard. Key factor. Just to put out there for you. Every day you will find 3 or 4 challenges waiting for you at the Valkyrian board in Baldera. The amount of challenges depends on your adventure rank. As you complete the quest, you will gather reputation XP. The higher your adventure rank is, the harder your quest will become. For an example, at Favorable, you will only get D tier quest. However, as Reverted, you will randomly receive quests from either A tier, S tier, or double S tier. The quest resets at 7 AM server time. Each time you progress to a new adventure rank, you will unlock a new achievement and title. Complete the quest line to gain more reputation XP and become recognized as an S rank adventurer in the Valkyrian Federation. With each completed quest, you will also get reputation points, which can be used to buy items from the reputation store. These items will prove valuable to progression. At Adventure Rank 7, you can purchase an Eternal Elo, an Eternal Lu, and Eternal Rico. At Maximum Adventure rank, you can purchase a Chandra Manaya mount. Now, don't get this mixed up with the one from Dreadspire. It's different. This is a darker, black-red version. The other one is a more gold-black version. This version I don't think we've had in console, so I think it looks actually really cool. It is a Manaya mount. It is a way to get it, but it's not the other version. Two different types of mounts. But the Baldera board to aid in familiarizing yourself with the basics of PvP, a short quest line has been prepared. Completing the quest will provide you with the necessary items to gear yourself for basic PvP. The initial quest will provide a book that will explain the gearing option and common procedures when picking your gear set. After finishing the basic quest, you can unlock a yellow quest for each battleground. Each quest gives you a book explaining all the basics and all the good stuff you need to know for PvP. So that board is going to be important, as I said. It does sound like that is going to be a way to get the new items and another way to get materials. Again, I like the progression idea from it too. The fact that as you rank up and do better, clearly D tier dungeons are probably, or D tier quests are probably going to be like pretty easy. Let's say do the easier dungeons, and double S tier might be clearing something like Dreadspire. Again, I'm hypothesizing, we won't know until we start seeing them, but I like that concept. It's really cool, and especially coming out with the new gear, all of this stuff coming out at the same time is really cool. Class changes. So the devs really are trying to balance everything, especially with the new gear coming out. I think we should expect more class patches soon, but we'll get into that. Archer, Gustera, they've reduced your range from 40 to 20 meters. Reduce the range of Gustera hits behind you. Enters cooldown immediately when charging. Charging this skill now provides invincibility. That's kind of nice. Zerks, your PvE damage has been increased by 1.5%. Bloodlust PvE cooldown has also been increased from 73 to 80 seconds. Your Fury range, they've increased your cooldown from 45 to 80 seconds. And Unleash, they've increased your cooldown from 260 to 285 seconds. Intimidation generates 50% additional aggro against enraged monsters. They've increased the damage to monsters by 5% when attacking from the front or side. This change requires a Bloodshard weapon equipped. The quest will unlock Intimidation was covered to a purple important quest to improve visibility. Brawlers, for Growing Fury Irregular Advancement, they've increased the damage to monsters by 5% when attacking from behind. This also requires a Bloodshard weapon to be equipped. They fixed the bug where Retaliate was affected by Growing Fury on a human female. Mystics, a runic release, heals immediately now. The mount healed is now visible. Healing now scales on gear. It restores 1 out of 6, so 1 mote or 1/3 to 2 motes of target's MP. Boomerang pose, they've reduced the healing by 25%. Contagion now increases the damage taken by 5.5 rather than reduces endurance by 4%. This won't result in any changes to balancing. Fixed a bug that caused lower level of skill to be stronger. I'm assuming it's not going to change much. That seems weird to me. We'll have to see in time how different damage taking versus endurance, because endurance is pretty massive if I recall, but I'll take the devs' words on that. Warding Totem, Aronan's Breath effect, they increased the healing by 43%. Additional healing is now visible, and the effect now scales on gear. Ninjas, your quick attack, Harmonious quick attack's range has been corrected, and Piercing Gaze now always applies when hitting a target. Priest, Edict of Judgment no longer disables usage of Kaya's shield. Healing Emergent, reduce the healing by 20%, but they increase the initial crit hit rate by 2 times. Holy Burst, for PvP or PvE, they've increased the base damage by 80%. The Amplification Advancement no longer increases the skill damage by 80%. The Heal Advancement no longer reduces the skill damage by 50%. Regeneration Circle increases healing tick by 50%. Now ticks every 2 instead of 1 second, and now the caster is affected by it. For Restorative Burst, they've increased the healing by 50%. Reapers, PvE, they've reduced your damage by 4.2%. They've increased the new character inventory slots from 40 to 48. This change was made to Reapers due to not having excessive inventory quest line. Okay. So they're just making it so that you have the same because you can't access a specific quest line. Valkyries, they've increased your PvE, sorry. It's early, I apologize. They've increased your PvE damage by 2.5%. And Dream Slash, they've reduced your range from 30 to 20 meters. God's Fall, they've increased your cooldown from 240 to 275. Titan Banes, they've increased your cooldown from 335 to 380. This is not to nerf the class, it's the exchange from the Bloodshard gear, having double cooldown and enrage rolls. That is the same for Zerks, by the way. Warriors, Blade Rots, they've refactored the skill to fix a lockout and improved other edge case issues. Rain of Blows, they've reduced our PvE damage by 10.5% and no longer has a chance to knock down. So in PvP, you can't knock down your opponents with it. Miscellaneous changes. All classes with the Bloodlust effect now have a normalized average value. For those unaware, the Bloodlust effect was a fairly hidden mechanic, where specific classes had skills do more damage based on the boss's target HP, increased maximum aggro by 100 times, PvE reduced all healing by 20%. So, it's kind of nice that they're normalizing the average value. I don't know how that's going to affect Bloodlust in the future. But for those that are unaware of what Bloodlust means, basically I can say for Reaper on console has Bloodlust on Sundering Strike. So for a while, a lot of console Reapers wouldn't sunder until the boss was under 60, 50, or 40%, because that's when the attack would start doing damage. Again, that was console. I don't know how it changed with, PC. PC is much different. But basically what the effect is, as the boss is weaker, you start doing more damage. They're trying to normalize the value or the average on that, which is kind of neat. There's a new system, shields on HP bars. Basically, whenever someone uses Divine Protection or Kaya Shield, you will see it on your HP bar. Depending on the type of shield, the effect will display differently. The gauge will reduce when you take damage and be removed when your shields have expired or been depleted. With this change, HP and other bars such as stamina and mana have been changed to appear slanted rather than straight cut. This was done to fit the gauge bar and UI more naturally. Please note that this change will mean your HP MP bar mods will need to be updated. The Unstable Bomb of Cooling. Use this item to reset you and your party's cooldown, but incurs a silence for a short period. So the affects nearby party members. This item cannot be used in sites of unrest, and the summon group skill will enter cooldown on use. This item can be purchased from the merchant or the Elium Mark shop. And basically what this item is you cast you set this bomb on you and your team, and all your skills go off cooldown. You can't really use it in a dungeon or in mid-fight, it seems like, because you'll be silenced. Now, I'll be curious to mess with that Because there might be times in dungeons where you could utilize that. So they might want to make it so like you can't use it mid-combat. I don't know. They'll have to look into that because I'm pretty sure there's a way that people kind of use that for some funniness. Huh. New game guide. A new game guide has been released. We will continue to update this guide to provide new players with the most up-to-date information. There is a new launcher. Here, actually, it's kind of cool. I've already downloaded it. This is the new launcher symbol. Run as admin. And this is what the new launcher looks like. So you're going to want to make sure you relog in. It's actually going to ask you to. They updated to have the Crimson Prelude and the patch 2.1 available. Embrace the Blood Shard. It's now called MT The Dream 2.0.0. And yeah, so very nice. You can change setting or check for game updates, repair, open game folder here. Hit play. You got your toolbox proxy. And you got your settings. You can do all good stuff there and obviously account stuff. So that's the new launcher. Very cool stuff. They've also added new costume and hairstyle. Dungeon specific costume being the Anthros costume. You get the calm armor set, the enraged armor set, hood, cloak, and sword accessories. That can be attained from Anthros Abyss Hard, the calm and enraged Anthroth armor sets. You can also obtain from Velic Sanctuary Hard, Cursed Lock-On Sword. You can also obtain from Velic Sanctuary Hard from the achievements. The Fight of Flight will give you the cape. Ungodly Luck rewards you the God's Helmet. Trial of Dead rewards you the Evil God's Armor. And Godslayer earns you the Evil God's Lance. So, all cool stuff that you can get. Inside the Menma's shop, you can get some new costumes, the Burning Laurel Wreath, Dyeable Boyfriend Hoodie, and Dyeable Boyfriend Hoodie with a name tag, Koi Fish, I'm not even going to try, the Luminous Kitty headset, the Prism weapon skin, and 3 new hairstyles. A Phoenix Fox, a Sheep, and a Kitty are all available. Some general content is the Nexus Mystery Merchant. Mystery Merchants have appeared hailing from the Nexus, much like Sargete. These new Nexus Mystery Merchants replace the old Goblin Merchants. Items held by them are more related to this patch, and you can find these merchants in Velica, Elementia, Kaiator, and the Baldera district. Norax is a new PvP merchant, which stays for 2 hours before despawning and can be found around Velica outskirts. For guilds, they've increased the maximum guild level up to 320. They've adjusted guild quests, so the Belderon tokens have been correctly renamed to the Belderon tokens. Guild quest tasks, requirements, XP, guild fund, rewards have been adjusted. Guild quests now have active duration of 8 hours rather than 12 hours. I apologize, it just hit my mic. Rewards for the guild quest rewards have been drastically improved. All guild size have same rewards. Current boxes will not be updated. So in other words, again, like the PvP boxes, like the Gilliglade boxes, you will need to get new guild boxes to get the new rewards. Guild GVG declaration resets at 7 a.m. on Tuesday instead of Thursday. Again, server time. Rally Bam. They've reduced the HP of Fragris and Sabernac by 30%, and they've removed Anasha completely. Island of Dawn. They've reduced the devoted Karash's HP by 30%. They've increased their enrage time to 60 seconds. They've reduced the repeatable kill quest from 20 to 10 kills. So instead of killing 20 of them, you only need to kill 10. For Guardian Legions, they've removed the decrepit rewards, such as superior etching boxes, after scoring enough points. They've added Luminous Mana Essence as an extra reward based on your score when the mission ends. For Companions, they've added new partners for the newly opened dungeons. Mythical partners now display properly as mythical grade instead of the companion menu. This does not work on appearance change partners, as the UI will retain the grade of the original partner. The companion UI has been refurbished to look more modern. They've increased the size of the Ashwolf, Cougar, Plant, and Sabertooth slightly. For friendships, they've slightly increased the amount of friendship points gained for various activities. So when completing a dungeon, you'll get 20 points. Winning a battleground gives you 20. Time in party every 1 minute generates 3 points instead of 1. Party level up 7 points instead of 5. Achievements. All closed dungeons have had their achievements moved to Legacy section. Dungeons that were open have had their achievements moved to the normal pool. The achievement rewards that increase damage or reduce damage taken have been removed. The exception to this is the gathering achievements. Highwatch. They've removed the quest recruitment to open Highwatch. Serene's Garden. Upon entering the zone, you now have 30 minutes before you are removed from the instance. You still need to use the item to grant immunity. What this means is, for those wondering, once your time's up in the garden, you're kicked out. I know personally, even when I used to go into the garden, you would take a bleed or like tick damage, but you could still technically gather while that was going. So you had like an extra 6 seconds to maybe collect whatever node you were going to or already collecting. Now you'll just immediately be booted right out. Bamarama has been disabled. We'll have to wait and see until they bring Bamarama back. Obviously, that's going to change how some stuff works, which we'll get into now. Progression changes. Starting and returning gear. Starting gear now gives you an Energetic Transcendence Mask and Annihilation Darklight equipment instead of Azurite. The returning player box now provides the proper gear to continue your adventure. Old upgrade scrolls from the last box can now be discarded. Instead of getting an Azurite gearbox, you now get a superior gearbox for your class. Starting gear has 4 weapon options, 3 for healers, and 3 on body, foot, and hand armor. So basically, remember how in the beginning of the patch notes we said that people starting, you can get a weapon with 2 rolls. That's all gone. You're going to get what you need from the start, which, good job. I like that. That's a good change. Now, your 3 body, foot, and hand might not be perfect rolls, but I think they go into that in a bit. We'll talk about what you can get. It's a little fuzzy, I'm going to be honest, when I read it the first time. Crafting. The mystery icon for cooking and processing has been updated. Golden Derrick and Silver Siglo crafting now requires 30 talents. Crafts 20 Derricks or Siglos, a crit will result in 30. Golden and Silver plate crafting now cost 40 production points. It now requires 15 Derricks or Siglos and crafts 10 plates. A crit will result in 15 plates. Electrum plate crafting now costs 80, and it'll craft you 2. If it crits, it'll be 3, and has a 10% chance to crit. Electrum plate design can now buy and sell price has been reduced by 80 times. Electrum plate design is now a rare drop from any mid-tier dungeon. So any, item level 492 dungeon will drop it instead of just AQ. Again, AQ's been removed, so whatever of that item level will drop. Gear. They've added item level to the Circlet, Halidome, Mask, and Relic. They've increased the item level of all Agaya jewelry by 7. The Battered Oath gear now guaranteed 4 power. So what I'm thinking this is, when you open your Battered Oath tokens, you're guaranteed quad 4 power rolls. Don't quote me on that. I know my last video I kind of said it's RNG. I think that RNG is gone. Enchanting tokens no longer sell non-relentless variants, so you're always going to get your HP and have relentless in their name. Gearhead option scrolls no longer require the golden Cryolet to lock lines. You can just lock lines whenever you want. They've adjusted the possible role options for Darklight, Annihilation, and Kaya's equipment. So body armor and foot now only provide magical or physical amplification. Handwear now only gives magical or physical crit power. Now, I believe the way this is worded, because this is where I say it gets a little hairy, is that I believe it's still RNG based. It means you can keep rolling on physical amplification and trying to get physical amp and only be getting magical. But from what it sounds like, you don't need the golden cryolets to lock the lines. And I believe they're going to make getting the gear scrolls pretty easier, as Kaya's gear is no longer mid-max. So I like these changes, I'm going to be honest. For Annihilation and Darklight equipment, you can no longer damage them when going to enchant. When you fail an enchant, it won't be broken. They reduced the gold cost of enchanting and upgraded it by 10 times. Now use golden derricks and silver siglos instead of plates when upgrading to Kaya's. For the ethereal accessories, you can now use golden derricks and silver siglos instead of plates when going to Radiant. For Radiant accessories, they removed the item XP. You will now get a 100 success rate when upgrading to a Gaia. They've reduced the cost and the upgrade by 10 times. The gold cost by 10 times when going to a Gaia's. For Halidom and Relics, you'll only need half the amount of Anthropis materials when upgrading to the next set of relics. The rest of the dungeon materials are unchanged. It will have a 100% rate going to these, and they've reduced the gold cost by 8 times. Now, what they haven't stated is Sky Cruiser dropped one of these, and I don't know what dungeon's going to be the replacement for it, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm kind of curious about that, but maybe in miscellaneous that would be plated. I did not make it this far, so I do apologize. But yeah, we'll have to get into that. So miscellaneous items. Internal tokens, internal token boxes are now more PvP related items. They've halved the cost of Darklight and Annihilation 3 option boxes. What this means is they will be, instead of 1000 gold, 500 gold. The Kara's Wisdom box now gives 1 oath token and 2 etching powders. The Superior Replenishment Portable and Superior Recovery Portable can now be traded. Over 25 more items can be stacked to 99,999 in our inventories. The quest item for Getty's Invitation can no longer be discarded, and you can now open multiple Vanguard boxes at once rather than per click. For mounts, the flying mount with speeds over 290 have been lowered to 290, and they made more quieter, such as the EXTR Mar winging the Wolf and Phoenix families. They've made more mounts. For shops, they've adjusted the Tera Shop button name to Menma's Tera Shop. All the decorative items and the Vanguard Reputation Shop have been removed. Any event item from the Bellacom Shop, Elion Mark Shop, and normal merchants have been replaced with normal variety. For the Bellacom Shop, now sells the same kind of food as the Elion Mark store. This change serves to reduce the amount of similar or identical items in a player's inventory. They've added a Rejuvenation Potion, Tempest Savage Drought, and the other Savage Drought to the shop. All cost 50,000 credits. They've added PvP Gear tab, and they've removed the Guardian Battleground reward box. They've also removed Elion's marks from internal PvP token shop. For the ticket shop, they've added Transcendent Mask costume to the ticket shop. They've updated the feature tab with highly purchased items. Items that have been moved are now in the appropriate section. They've added XP boost. Companion list expansion 10 now will cost 4,000 tickets. The pocket tab now costs 4,000 tickets. And various cosmetic items that were missing have been added. Some of the other stuff is they've lowered auto resurrection time to 15 minutes. You will also resurrect with 50 HP instead of 30%. They've moved the Hydrana achievements to miscellaneous. They've removed visual effects from monsters affected by reduced critical resistance abnormals. Reputation and players' profiles have been separated into Southern, Northern Arena, Southern, Northern Shara, Exodore, Island, yada yada yada. They've smoothed out the mini-map movements. Title written in Veterans Package Tooltip has been correctly adjusted to Pride of Menma to reflect the appropriate title name. Visual effects that are similar of the same as complete crystal binds have been removed. You can now use the main menu while swimming, and the north left beach side of Velica Outskirts has PvP enabled. Alright, let's get into the bug fixes. For UI, the UI will no longer reset intermittently. Companion menu now correctly loads companion icons. They fixed the club menu displaying the wrong club supply box. The areas of Velica Outskirts with open world PvP enabled now display the information correctly. The tailoring mastery icon no longer loads abnormally. Various minimap adjustment for dungeon icons in the open world have been made. Dungeons. After defeating Prepare, the gates no longer close without reopening. Nice. Brawlers and Lancers no longer receive a hidden 150 aggro buff in certain dungeons. Huh. Well, that's good. Channelworks, Kelvians, Lilith, Ravenous, Shattered, Dull Metal, Velux, Hold, Hive. Interesting. Good that they fixed it. All tooltip items, skill, glyphs, and effects have been updated. Icons have been updated in some classes as well, notably included a guy's accessory. Certain fish tooltips are now colored correctly. Crystal form weapon skins now have the proper effect. Enchantment effects now appear correctly when using the Chandra Manaya's weapon skin. Hagufna, Undying War, and Chandra Manaya costume sets now display the effect when you wear the entire set. The Smartbox Chandra Manaya weapon tradable is now tradable as intended, and the Thuner and Wooden Mighty weapon skins now affect properly. For mounts, they've added the flying Hello Kitty squirrel no longer lands awkwardly when messing with your angle. The Hello Kitty squirrel now has a travel effect displayed properly, and the riding skill, Top Thorn, and other practically old mounts now react to the game's terrain. And the last thing is other. Pet skills that were removed no longer appear on tooltips. This includes the barrier, emergency service, and the urgent recovery. Quests related to closed content are no longer available. They've removed the extra gold reward on low-level hunting vanguards. Small and tall body tablets from the specialty merchant can now be purchased in stacks. The price has been changed to 1 gold. Some low-level items no longer have an incorrect and high item level. The quest Hungry Like the final NPC can no longer die. And they fixed an issue with certain costume and weapons do not have sound. And that is all of the patch notes. At this point in time, thank you for making it through. You are amazing. Some stuff, like I said, is a little weird for me to read. It's weird in the way of that I don't know if I understand exactly what they're doing with certain things, but all will be more clear obviously as we play the game. Like I said, as far as how to get the upgrades will be way more clear. What exactly rewards what will be all more clear. Overall, this is a really cool update. I'm excited to dive into the game. I hope you enjoyed. If you have, go ahead and hit that like button. Again, this was really long, so I hope to get the chapters in the best I can. And that's about it. If you got any questions, feel free to ask me and I'll do my best to answer them. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button. as we do currently have a goal, and we are about 50 subs away. Once we hit 400, we will do a 12-hour Tera Menma stream on Twitch. If you're not following my Twitch, go ahead and go over to Twitch at TSTera, where I will be doing Menma Mondays along with other games. And that's about it. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in Aboria Gamers.